Now guys, before I get a load of chat messages that says, but Bonanza, what about all the good things about player chat reporting? Aren't there good things about it, or is it all bad? What about all the other things? You didn't talk about everything about player chat reporting. Wait a second. I'm posting another video at the exact same time I'm posting this one, and that one is entitled Everything Good About Player Chat Reporting, which means that you, before leaving a bunch of comments about everything that I said wrong in this video, and everything that's bad about this video, and everything I forgot when I made this video, go watch the other one first, give me twice the ad revenue, and then you can leave all the hateful comments or whatever you want to do. So without further ado, I have nothing else really to say on this matter, except let's jump right into the video. So what are these bad things that are in player chat reporting? What about this feature makes it so bad? Well, the first thing that I'm going to say on this subject is that it's just, should you get banned? Like, should you be able to get banned for theoretically minor offenses? Because Mojang has stated it's not bots, it's run by a team. There's a team of people that will be reviewing player chat reports and figuring out who should get banned, who should get suspended, and who shouldn't. And so leaving this up to like people is, I think, kind of dangerous, because if someone is in a bad mood or something, you really wouldn't want a bunch of $30 accounts to get banned or suspended just because, you know, you caught somebody on a bad day, someone was in a bad mood. By the way, look at this incredible terrain generation. Sorry not to get distracted. So I think that's the first problem with it. It seems a bit unfair if people get banned because of corruption inside the system, because of, you know, unfair things and bad things that are happening inside the actual system. So that is definitely a concern, and I think that is probably one of the biggest problems with this feature, is that you wouldn't want to get unfairly banned because of some corruption inside of Mojang. I don't think you'll probably end up getting unfairly banned because someone reported you unfairly, because Mojang will be able to look at context, be able to look back at people's previous chat messages. Not that they'll be able to spy on all of your chat messages, but they will be able to look back on ones around the ones that were reported, and see if you were unfairly. So I think it still could happen that you could get unfairly banned from your account, but I don't think it'll be that common. But that is definitely another concern if you get unfairly banned because you're playing with some friends and they decide to troll you, or you're playing with somebody who you beat them in a Bed Wars game and they got all mad at you and reported you. That would definitely stink, and I think that is another problem with this system, but that is also going to be a problem with any banning system there is, so I wouldn't be too concerned about, but it is definitely a worry. The next bad thing I will say about this is the fact that you can get banned from realms. I don't think you should be allowed to be banned from realms, just because there are only two ways to be part of a realms world. The first way is if you own the realm yourself, and I realize that, you know, by buying Minecraft you agree to all their terms and policies, and therefore agree that they could terminate your account at any time, but at the same time, it costs a lot of money for a realms world. So if you paid money for that and then got banned halfway in, you just lost out on a bunch of money. And yes, that should be like, okay, it's a bit of a reason why you should be more careful with your online chat. But at the same time, I don't think you should be able to get banned from realms, because that's one way, by owning it. And if you own it, you should be able to say whatever you want, to be honest, just because, like, if people want to leave, then they can just leave. And then also, if you are, the other way to get on a realm is if you are invited, and if you are invited, then you can also leave for free at any time. You didn't pay any money to get into the realm. So if you're invited and, like, you know, if you're invited and you're being abusive or something, like, they could just kick you out. And of course, if you're being abusive and the owner is being abusive together on everybody else, then they could just leave. Like, it's not that big of a deal. They could just leave the realm and not come back. So I'm not sure what the incredible concern is. But yeah, that is, I think, definitely kind of a strange thing. You can get banned from realms, so I think that would be something that could maybe get removed. Another thing I would disagree with as far as player chat reporting would go is I would prefer a bit more power to the servers and a bit less power to Microsoft and Mojang, just because I feel like the servers can monitor all chat, like somebody like Hypixel. If you did something against Hypixel's guidelines, then Hypixel bans you from Hypixel's server. You don't get banned from other servers, you only get banned from Hypixel. Now, the big problem with this system is that you can come back after a certain amount of time. So it's never a permanent ban, I don't think. I could be wrong on that, so don't quote me. But I think you can always come back afterwards if you felt so inclined. And so that is one of the problems with the local banning, but I think it's a way more refined system, because it would stink if you did something on Hypixel that was within Hypixel's boundaries, but Hypixel said it was okay, but then Mojang didn't think it was okay, Microsoft didn't think it was okay, and therefore you got banned from all servers from it, even though what you were doing was within Hypixel's guidelines. Now, I think the biggest argument to that argument would be that you're playing Minecraft even when you're playing Hypixel, and therefore Minecraft has the right to ban you whatever server you're playing on, because you're always playing on the Minecraft game. And that's definitely true, but I feel like I would prefer less power to Mojang and more power to server owners, but that's just my opinion. So I'm not really sure whether or not that's a concrete reason to get rid of it or keep it, because that's just my personal opinion. But yeah, that is definitely, I think, a way that this could be made better. Because also, if there's lots of chats that are getting reported all the time, the server is going to have way better of a capability to deal with that than Mojang, just because Mojang is going to have to deal with things coming from all the servers, whereas Hypixel is only going to have to deal with stuff coming from their server. So you won't have to worry about as much stuff happening at the same time, and you'll end up being more efficient if you're working under just a server banning people, whereas, you know, on the flip side, and you know, every single chat in Minecraft is being sent to this one team of people, right? They could easily get overwhelmed, and then there would be people that are potentially dangerous just not getting banned for weeks just because there's such a backlog. That is another potential concern. And I'm sure, you know, Mojang will have to figure out how many people they have to actually have hired at once to be able to keep up with all the stuff. So I think that is definitely a problem with this system. Another problem I would say I have with this is the way it was implemented. I don't think Mojang did a good job implementing it at all. They didn't put it in a main update. They threw it in as this 1.19.1, kind of almost as if no one would notice. And I'm not sure who, you know, I think Exumavoid made a video about an honest conversation about player chat reporting, I think it was called. That was a great video. I would recommend checking it out. But I feel like I would agree with him in that they kind of tried to sneak it in. They didn't really have much communication. The only way they told us through this was with change logs. I would agree that they did not implement this very well. They kind of tried to sneak it in, and I don't know, and neither does he, nobody knows, if this is a Mojang decision or if this is a Microsoft decision. If Microsoft decided that, you know, oh, we should try to sneak it in, nobody will notice, or if that was a Mojang was like, I don't think people are gonna like this, let's just try to sneak it in through the back door. But either way, they did a bad job trying to add this. They did a bad job with the implementation, and in the first few pre-releases, it was in snapshots, it was so buggy. This is what got a lot of people concerned, because it was just a horrible system. There's so many ways of getting around it. You could literally report a command block that was named to be somebody else. It was just really, really bad. But they have, of course, refined it since. But the implementation at the start was just really, really not good. The communication and the implementation right there at the beginning. Of course, you know, in snapshots, you can't expect everything to be finished. But I feel like at the start, the implementation and communication was just really, really below par. And it was just not a good system at all at the start. Now, of course, the obvious question is, what should we do with all of this information? And I don't think the right solution is going to be to start boycotting all kinds of Microsoft Mojangs. Don't play Minecraft anymore, stop going on servers. I don't think that's the right solution at all. I think there is a right solution, and I think the right solution is to make your feedback known on the Minecraft feedback website, but not in a hateful way, in a respectful, kind way. Say, I don't agree with X, Y, or Z about this feature, and I think, but also don't just say I don't agree with it. I would also recommend giving a option like, I would suggest you did this instead, just because then you come across less rude, less mean, and more actually trying to fix the problem instead of just yelling at people because you're angry about the issue. So that's another thing I would definitely say needs to be said. Just don't respond in anger, respond out of just try to be a bit smarter about how you respond anyways. It's also, I would also say the best response is to if you're legitimately that opposed to this, you could start setting up older version servers. Like if you don't want to play in 1.19.1, just make a 1.19 server and play inside of that. Also, these ocean noises are kind of strange. I never really noticed them before until now I'm making this video. But I would say, don't, like, if you really want to, make a 1.19 server and then have it so that only people on 1.19, if you're like playing with friends or whatever, make a 1.19 server. Don't play in 1.19.1. Then nothing bad will ever happen. And I think I would agree that a lot of people only play in 1.8, especially for, like, you know, PvP like Hypixel. Most people who play Hypixel are playing in 1.8. So I think that is another kind of issue sort of with this feature, but it's also a solution. If you don't want to have to deal with this feature, then you can just play in an older version. And of course, you can still get reported if you're in an older version, but you won't. But there'll be, of course, if it's an older version only server, no one with the ability to report people will be in that server. So just an idea to keep in mind. Wow, look at this. That is going to be where I call it for today's video. So thank you for watching, and I will see everyone in the next one. So goodbye.